This is Kenny again. I'm glad to be here to share with you about SurePay Company Limited, and the product is School Information Management System. We've covered the registration, the setup of the system, we've covered the academics section, and now we are looking at the account section, basically for the bursars and any person who may be in position to take on accounts at your school. So we are logging into our SurePay School Information Management System. Just come. We log in as and our password is, so we log in. Here we are. We've covered the settings part of the system. We've looked at the student module, employees, suppliers, and academics. We've been able to see how to add students to the system, to register employees. We skipped suppliers, but it's the same. You can as well just add in, click suppliers. You'll be able to add a new supplier. Those people will supply you products and materials to the school. You'll be able to capture the email. You may as well send email once connected to the internet. Yep. Covered academics. We've set up the subjects for the school, registered students on the system, assigned teachers, and assessed subjects which are to be done to the school. Yep. So you can make a visit to the previous tutorials in case you missed out. So right now, today we are looking at accounts section. We've got the charts of account, the chart of account. We've got append tab, append fees. We've got sync bills, pay in, sync payments, download payments, payment reports. Graduated students, maybe they finished their NPLE, UCE, name it. We've seen how we have a budget here, expenses, banking, payroll, inventory, and financial reports. So for the accounts, it's all to be centered around here, the chart of accounts. We have to make sure you set up well your chart of accounts so as to be able to make budgets and to spend. If not well set, you may find challenges somewhere. So let's try to set up some few chart of accounts. Let's go in. In the chart of account, we are able to add a main account, which like we see is income, expenses, fixed assets, current assets, financed by. Those are some of the main chart of accounts. So under the main chart of accounts, we've got the major accounts, which is in case of income, it is school development and student payments, and we've also got the sub accounts under these major accounts. So when we come at the school, we may see different accounts created depending on how your school is. For example, this case, we have these student payments under the income for the school. We've got fees and fees areas or fees balances. So in order to capture any other item, may it be uniform or stockings or lunch or anything payable by the student to a school, we may capture that by adding a sub account under the student payments, which we can do by coming to add sub account. Under income, select it, choose income, click on major account. We should locate student payments and type in our sub accounts for creation as maybe uniforms. Then we say add account. It has added. Under income, we can see it. So we can capture any amount that comes in for uniforms from student as the major accounts under this account. We can as well add some other sub accounts to help us not to mix up money. You say add, it appears. So this is how basically we create sub accounts to our chart of account. Well, also you may be asking questions, future questions, how you may track expenses. You see, under expenses we have bursaries, and as a major account, bursary stock discount, we have an academic sub account auto created by the system. You remember in the previous tutorials when we chose to create academic under the bursary. So we can as well put more sub accounts. Maybe it could be salary and allowances. We could track who and which people do we pay, teaching and non-teaching. We may as well capture that by adding a sub account here. Under salary, it could be employees. Let's do that. Add sub account. This is under expenses. Salaries and allowance. Which people do we pay? These are employees. Yep. So it is also added there. Depending on your salary and allowance, you might be giving it to different people. So this is just for a tutorial purposes. For tutorial purposes, let's close this for now. If you got a bank account, you can as well capture that by creating a sub account. If you've got different cash that come in, you can capture that creating it under cash, like it's created cash at hand. If you got different mobile money, how you receive money via mobile money transactions, it could be MTN, Airtel, SurePay Mobile. You can add it as a sub account here, so as to help you track your money. So under the current liabilities to the school, we've got bills payable. It could be water bills. You can capture that. Under employees as the current liability to the school, we've got so far teacher Babide. You remember once when we created her. So that's how we create sub accounts and to help us manage and be able to create budgets and spend money. We can as well try out on how to create a major account. We could say let's create a major account. Just come to admin, say select maybe under expenses. We can create this as, for example, teachers welfare as the main welfare. You can say add. It is added here to the system. And under welfare, we can as well go on to put different sub accounts, because it will be helping us as a school to know which items do we spend on under welfare. So we can create under welfare a sub account, that is to say select expenses here, select the welfare as a major account, And as a sub account, let's choose it to be maybe teachers escorts that we spend on a daily basis. So we capture that, we close that for now. We can maybe as well capture any bank for reconciliation. Under bank accounts, we can create an account, sub account. Under the current asset, we may have it is current assets. We may have a major account, which is bank accounts. We may have our bank as equity. Equity bank. We may add that in there. It is here. Close this for now. We may see equity under banks. So if at all you have different bank accounts, you can go on to add them to the system, but they'll help you to track your finances, to help you have a good and better management. Well, from that we can now close. You can go on to add different sub accounts and major accounts depending on how you want to make budget and spend for those items you want to create. You can now close for now. Well, that done, we can go to the next item, which is append fees under accounts. Append basically means to attach money or fees to a particular student. We understand that fees was set up in the first tutorial. We've all set up our fees, I understand, I believe. So we can now make a selection of a class, P1, our favorite class for tutorials. We can choose, you see now, because we created these different items, we are able to see them here populating. We created them as sub accounts under student payments. So we can attach fees on this child. The amount to pay. You remember when we made a discount, P1 class is supposed to be paying 500, and this child here, Angel Malaika, has a discount of 250,000, which equates to a half past salary. So meaning she will again have to still pay the balance over 250,000. So it's what we indicate here, 250,000. Then we select the child who is Angel Malaika. It could be different people because it's different people paying different amounts and having different bursaries. So you have to select. If it at all it applies to all students, you can just select all. But if it's single, you only have to select that particular child. Like we've selected Angel Malaika. Then we come down here, say append fees. So the student is billed successfully. So now we can be able to see that the fees balance for Angel Malaika is 250. What is being paid in P1 class is 500 for the day class, and the fees discount is 250. So the balance, so this plus this gives us the total amount of how much she had to pay. Alright, we can attach more money to the child. It could be uniforms. Our uniform is to be sold to every child at 150,000. That is for uniforms. Again, remember to select the child. If it applies to all students, you select all. If it's for that particular child, select the child and go on to say append. Okay, again it's billed successful. So you see the amount is now increasing. How much we are to collect from this particular child is increasing. So there is an extra amount added to this fees balance of 15,000 added to the balance which was 250,000 to make it 400. So we can as well be able to come, if at all this child is to go for a tour, we can attach a tour fee which is at 50,000. Select the child. If it applies for all, remember, select all, then say append. Again, build successfully. So here we are billing our different students, so it's now again elevating to 450,000. We can as well track fees balances, fees areas. We can, if at all Angel last term, for the first term had a balance on fees, we can track that, but by attaching this fees balance to her still, select fees balance and then select the child. Remember to enter, to put the amount, how much was the balance, maybe 50,000. So that's how we attach different amounts for different items on a particular child. So we can come again and say append. So it equates back to 500,000 shillings. We may close that for now. If we have finished appending, attaching money for each student in a certain class, that is P1, it could be any class. We may close that for now. So we may sync the bills so as to help us. We sync. So you may close that for now. Close. Then when we see pay in is where, remember, this is a great system, both offline and online management system. So in case someone might come to the office to pay in, this is how we capture the payment via pay in. Click on pay in. We see a different window popping up. So we may search the student by the student name. We can search the child by the class or by the student number. So we have a student name, a student number, and a class. We shall use the class because it will give us different students from which to select. So in case someone paid to the bank, that is to Equity, and has given us a bank slip number, we can put the slip number here for reconciliation purposes. Select the date, and the items on which to pay will appear here, and the amount. Then we shall process payment. So let's select a class which is P1. So all students in P1 will populate out here. So now we have Angel Malaika. You see, because we've already appended all the fees, it shows us Angel Malaika. Once we click on Angel Malaika, it gives us the bills she has to pay. She has to pay 250,000 on fees. She has to pay on uniform. She has 150,000. She has to pay 50,000 for tour, and she got a balance of 50,000 shillings, which equates back to 500,000. So like I said earlier on, so depending on how she's paying, we have to know, just come to pay by, select how she's paying. Is it by the bank? Remember how we created the bank account via the charts of account. Is it a cash at hand or via SurePay mobile or any other mobile agent? So that for now we may take a cash at hand option. Enter your receipt number. We may say 112 and the date. Select the date when he's paying. Always make sure that your system date is correct, because the system and this will always pick it from your settings. So you see it's selecting 8th July 2022, which is okay. We may make the fees amount. How much is she paying for fees today? She may bring in maybe 200,000 on fees, and she may as well put a balance of 50,000. We may process that for now. Let's see. Wow, sorry. So it is telling us on fees she has paid 200,000 and she has paid 550,000, sorry, on the fees balance. So the balance she has to pay is 250, right? This is how much he was billed, this is how much she has paid, and this is how much she's remaining with. So we may say Angel Malaika parent came maybe a different day and she paid on tours and uniform. We may select still cash at hand. We may choose a different date this time around. It could be after 2 weeks she comes back. We may select tour. So she completed tour fee, which is 50. She paid the 50,000. Remember to change the receipt number. It could be 135, depending on your receipt book, if you told you have one. Then uniform, she also completed a uniform, or she paid 100,000 on uniform. So we may process payment like that. Okay, not yet, we don't have the receipt. The system is asking me if it should print out a receipt. Not yet. So this is how much was billed, and she has paid 100 on uniforms. Again, she completed a tour fee of 50,000. So the balance is only 100,000. Right? This is 200, 250, and this is 150. Yes. 300, this is 400. So the balance is of 100,000. Okay, that's it. We may close that for now. In case you made a mistake on how you've captured your payment, you're able to change. Just click on the last entry. We may go for a deletion. We may change values. If at all the amount is wrong, you're able to change values. You're able to print a receipt or able to print a ledger to give parents how it has been billed and how the child has become paying. We can expand this for you. So this is a ledger. It shows the parent, it gives a clear information of the parent. At the beginning of the term, this child was billed this amount. This is how much she paid on the dates, and this is the balance. We may just underline this or put a circle on this balance. So we may be able as well to print a ledger for every child. Save this. So let's close this for now, and here close for now. So we've created the charts of account, appended the different amounts, synced bills. We've received some funds now. Now our school has got some money, and we may as well sync payments. Okay. So let's now try to check with the payment reports in our school. Remember, we've not spent anything. Come to payment reports. You're able to see tracking sheets, fees analysis. They'll tell you to summarize bills of which term, particularly term 2. Say okay. You will see Angel Malaika and different children in your school, how they've come paying. So this is how much Angel Malaika she has paid. On 8th July, she paid on fees 200,000. On fees balance, she gave us 50,000. She didn't pay anything on tour and on uniform, so she gave us 250. And later on 22nd July, she gave us 50,000 particularly for tour and 100,000 shillings on uniforms, which equates to 150. So the grand total of all fees collected from Angel Malaika is 400,000, and giving us a balance of 100,000 she has to pay. So under payments, you're able to look to search modes of payments, how much has come in through which account, cash at hand, how much we've collected at cash at hand, how much we've collected through SurePay mobile, how much has been received, and what has come in by the bank. So you can as well capture and track this, so you know how your parents are being convenient to which platform is really better for them. So you will be able also to see the bursary schemes, bursary students, how many bursaries you have, how many students are on the bursary. You see now Angel Malaika is here. She has a bursary discount of 250. So you'll also be able to have a chart. You're able to draw a chart or a column chart maybe of your students on a bursary. You will be able to print, preview, and export as well. Well, that said, let's try to see how we can create a budget. Remember, we need to first create all things under the charts of account. So we can go to budgeting. You can just create a budget. Go to create. You select, it could be termly. Select the term, it is term 2. Then you can say continue. So me, I had already set a budget, so if at all you've not, you say okay and continue. So let's close this for now. Let me review what I'd created earlier on. They will ask me term 2. So I have an empty workspace, so I can just come to add item. I select the item which I created under the charts of account. So I created academics. Earlier on I have employees and I have escorts. So we are now creating a budget for academic for the bursaries. We may say we want to give bursaries of this amount to the equating to this number of students. You type in, we may type in maybe bursary of 2 million this time. We may add that. We may choose any other item we are planning for as employees. We may say we have 10 teachers and we are paying each 400,000, and 10 times 400. So let's say maybe we spend 404 million shillings to teachers. And then we can say add. That's how much we are going to spend on salaries. We may create a budget now for escorts. Teachers, this time we shall spend 500,000 on escorts. Boom. Close. So this is how we create. So we know we are going to be spending 6,500,000 for out of the school pockets. But to create this budget, you first have to go and have it in the charts of accounts. Okay, so let's close this for now. You're able to review, compare, and you're able to print this budget for you, and you're able to export. So let's try spending something. We shall be seeing a new window. This is quite a long video, but bear with me, it's more helpful. So funding account, we choose the funding account. It could be equity, cash at hand, or SurePay mobile. Remember, we have nothing at equity as yet. We have some money from the cash at hand side. Then we have the SurePay mobile also, or any other mobile agent. SurePay mobile has nothing received. So the date is today. We may choose a different date. It could be a 10th. Check number. We may say 232. Voucher number and expense category. So we have the items we created under the charts of accounts. We have the academic, we have, which is under bursaries and discounts. We have employees who are under salaries and allowances. We have welfare escorts, which is under welfare for the entire general for the school. So far we've only got escorts under welfare. So we are able to spend out something because we've got some money. So we can say we are going to spend on welfare, which is escorts. We have 10 teachers, and each teacher is going to have an escort of 500. So let's say okay. So the system is asking us that it is showing escorts. This is the narration. 10 people, which is the quantity, and at a rate of 500, equating to 5,000 shillings. So we should have to first confirm payments. Let's go down here, confirm. Oh, they say this transaction is not possible because there is not enough funds on the cash amount. Okay, so we didn't select the right funding account. Let's run quick. Select a cash at hand. Okay, now we shall be able to spend. Let's confirm. Okay, do you really want to close this? Yes, we shall just agree. Voucher closed successfully. So we've spent money out, 5,000 from the 400 we've had, and the balance is now 395,000. Wow. Let's close that for now. We are able to spend money. I've shown you how we spend money. We are able to reconcile with the bank. We are able to withdraw, deposit, and transfer through our system. You're able to also track your inventory, track your payroll. Let's try to see also the payroll. You just come to create, select a month, that is July, the year, and continue. I once created mine. For the payroll period, July already exists. Do you wish to return the process? I can say yes. So we want to create a payroll for all our teachers and employees. So you see now we have our teacher Babiye on our payroll. She has to receive 400,000 shillings. So all different teachers will appear here, populate up with their different amounts, so as for you to track how much to be given out, and if it is in alignment with how much budgeted for the payments. You can close this for now. You can as well print, review at any time. Well, let's try to find the financial reports. Let's go to financial reports. Remember, we said this system is helping even in generating income statements. As you see under financial account reports, we are able to have the total income for the school that has come in since January 2022 to this date. Remember how we set our financial period at the beginning of the first tutorials. So we can say, let's see the total income that has come in so far. So this is how much we've received. We can track the total expenses, how much we've spent, not captured yet. We can as well go to group expenses. We can as well go to income statements. It can show you your revenue, your expense, and your, so you can go to cash books, income ledgers. Yep, that's it. We need to track the expense, review expense. You spent out this. We need to sync payments, sync bills, so as to capture the expense. Okay. And once we come to payment reports, we can this analysis summary. This is how much Malaika, remember, she has been paying. Then for expenses, not yet. The financial statements, let's try to check back on the expense. Yeah, that's how basically the system can help you. So any question, get to me, get to Kenny, get to Mr. Simon. You can contact Elvis, Moses, and we are looking forward to hear from you. Thank you, and I wish you a very great moment as you use the system. Thank you.